Buddhism is not so much a religion, it is a philosophy of life. Every Sunday morning at service, after meditation, everyone gathers around and listens to Haju. Her lessons gather stories from her life, both long ago and things that are incredibly recent and personal. It's easy to feel the connectedness and the togetherness of the temple. Everyone feels like one. We're all listening, eagerly holding on to Haju's words. According to one Buddhist teacher, religion should not just be some dry intellectual idea, but rather a basic philosophy of life. You hear a teaching that makes sense to you, find through experience that it relates positively with your psychological makeup, get a real taste of it through practice, and then adopt it. That is exactly what the Buddhist temple is all about. While most other things in this present day and age are pressing us to believe what they believe, think how they think, the Buddhist lifestyle seems to be based on a foundation of learning and choosing the path that's right for you, based on some very simple, basic guidelines. Their approach to everything is quiet and mindful. The Buddhist temple is a group of people working together as a community to not only better themselves as individuals, but also to improve their sangha, the temple, as well as the community that surrounds them. They work hard and they welcome new people. Throughout my time at the temple, as I became a part of this community, as I got to know the people there, as I put in time towards helping, and as they helped me, I began to grow not only in my knowledge of Buddhism, but also my photography. I learned new ways to see. Every morning, people who live at the temple rise before the sun. Haju leads morning practices at 5 a.m. The candlelight provides a beautiful atmosphere, their glow highlighting the temple's mystical charm, dancing across statues and faces of those gathered at the temple. Everyone's there, ready to practice, to improve themselves. After doing the prostrations, chanting, and other morning service things, everyone who was present comes together for a early morning breakfast. This breakfast, however, was like nothing I've ever participated in before. Whereas my breakfasts are usually loud, with voices clamoring to be heard, breakfast at the temple continues the practice of mindful silence. The belief is that the food is there to nourish you, and you should think about that, not just blindly take it for granted. Buddhist temple partakes in several volunteer opportunities throughout Michigan. One of them that I was lucky enough to have the chance to attend was their annual Walk for Hunger. This walk, like most things at the temple, began with an inspirational and truly, truly realistic and meaningful speech from Haju. Throughout the day, even though the weather was cold and stormy, one of our first cold fall days, the spirits were high. Haju really knows how to lead people. And most importantly, everyone at the temple knew to keep in mind that they were helping people who were less fortunate. One of the recurring themes at Ann Arbor's Zen Buddhist temple is mindfulness. Paying attention, acknowledging, really appreciating what you are doing, what you're in the moment doing. As such, I began to try to take this into mind with my own photography. Instead of just casually shooting off a bunch of photos of something, I've really begun to take time to compose my shot thoughtfully, mindfully. Throughout my time at the temple, I ended up becoming very close with one person in particular, Angela. A senior at U of M, he is currently living in the temple to better himself. He has always had strong feelings of curiosity about the mind and how it works. And those feelings drew him to Buddhism in the first place. He is without a doubt one of the most interesting and caring people I've met in my entire life. His Buddhist faith shines out of him in everything he does. Getting closer to these people, growing in my relationships with them, made it easier to photograph them. Throughout many of my early photographs, I actually arbitrarily chose to use a fisheye lens. But as I look back on the photos, it almost symbolizes the emotional distance I felt from them back in the beginning. my nervousness, my timidness, insecurities of not knowing them and knowing what to do. Whereas towards the end, as I got to know people, as I got to know what the temple was like, I felt more comfortable getting close to the people, emotionally and with my camera. And my photos reflect this. Kind of relating back to Robert Capla's quote, if your photos aren't good enough, you're not close enough. As I became emotionally closer with these people, my photos became better.